Welcome everyone to Sunday Fuel. I'm Sacred Prophet, alongside my trusty sidekick and forever Aaron, bad girl, Peter Hartman. I'm so happy to see you guys all here today for Bitcoin. And I'm sorry. I wanted to be happy, but even though Bitcoin reached all-time highs this week, just like I predicted, I think Bitcoin's going to $0. I think Bitcoin's worth nothing. It's going down to nothing, to zero. Let's get to the show. See, I was watching this video and it said that Bitcoin's not worth anything. It was Peter Schiff, and he knows so much about Bitcoin, and he has so much of it. And if he thinks that it's not worth anything, it's not worth anything. All-time highs, Peter.
Yes.
All-time highs on Bitcoin.
Yes, but we're not. I don't feel the rocket fuel. All right, I don't feel the Starship. All right, I feel like Spaceman is up there floating around in a roadster, and he's got no company. All right, we're supposed to be up there near the moon.
All right, so Bitcoin goes up 50% in as many days, exactly on schedule, and you're not feeling it.
I don't feel it.
If you're trading 50x leverage, you'd feel it, Peter. That's the whole point. It's the whole point. All right, you're up 25x. All right, here's the thing, Peter. Here's the thing. This is why it matters. We got the lows exactly when we said. We're getting all-time highs exactly what I said. What I said, May 21st to basically May 21st is when I was expecting to get the highs for Bitcoin, exactly on schedule. It hit all the levels that we expected, all the way up, all the trend levels, all the way up. And now, right on schedule, do you remember what I said? Was it last week or the week before? What would happen when Bitcoin got to these levels? Do you know what I said would happen? What people would
chop around sideways, and they'd say this is the end of the cycle. Yada.
Yeah, let's switch to the desktop view here, Peter. This is what people said was going to happen. Triple top.
Wait, hang on. Can you maximize that window so we don't get those arc borders?
Oh, right.
You can zoom it out. You don't have to zoom it. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Triple top. From bar chart, triple top. That's what people are saying, that Bitcoin is triple topping. Didn't I say it? Didn't I call it? Didn't I say that's exactly what people would be saying? We got to sell it all. Triple top time. So I like this all. I love when I'm so right, not because of me, but because I am the vessel for the Lord of liquidity who speaks through me. And I get it so right. I'm going to take you to church today, buddy. I'm going to take you to church. The same people who couldn't tell you, who at 74, at the lows of 74, saying Bitcoin's going down to 62, end of the cycle, truncated cycle. The same people who didn't see that we would rise massively over the next 50 days, all the way up to the highs, the all-time highs, in the exact same time frame that I'm talking about. The same people who can't tell right now that we're going to get maybe perhaps a bit of a pullback, and then go to even higher highs. These are the same people who keep putting out tweets, keep talking, keep taking away alpha from you. I don't know why they're not listening to me, Peter.
You underestimate my power.
I don't understand why they don't listen to me.
Well, you know, the fear, the emotions, they get a hold of you, you know?
I get that. But then get off social media, all right?
Get off social media.
All their predictions are terrible. The fear mongering is terrible. Like, here's the thing, Peter. it's not just that I'm right. It's not just that I'm right. It's that I got the timing. Okay? Even our buddy Raoul Powell was taken up the keister by being so vague for the last few months. People are like, where's this banana zone? Where's the rally? Where's all this stuff? What's going on? When is it going to come? When's it going to happen? Right? For months. Did I have that? Did your boy Sacred Prophet have that? No.
Well,
Sacred Prophet said, when we get down to 74 to our yearly wave, that's where we're going to get the low. And from there, we're going to rocket higher. Did we rocket higher? Yeah, we did.
How old are you? How old are you?
Old enough to be chosen by the Lord of Liquidity as his vessel. Do not take me for a conjurer of cheap tricks. I am the wielder of the secret fire.
No. Take that away from him, all right? Look, that's on me, folks. I bought that for him. That's on me.
I am the servant of the secret fire, wielder of the flame of Arnor. The dark fire should not avail you, flame of Udun. Back to the shadow. Excommunicated all these people who can't see it.
Why do I have to be associated with this? Okay, I didn't sign up for this.
I don't tell the future. I don't tell the future, okay? What I do is that I see the cycles of the present so clearly and the cycles of the past so clearly that I can tell you almost to the day when something's going to happen. Me and Richard Hart, we're the ones who call the tops on Bitcoin. We call the bottoms too. Guys got to listen to us. Printing Alpha. I should call myself Sacred Prophet. I should call myself Printing Alpha. That's what it is. Stacks. All right.
I gotta write that down. Printing Alpha. Pretty good.
All right, Peter. It's hard being the vessel sometimes. Because I got people, move happens in Bitcoin. I get messages, I get text messages, I get phone calls, I get Telegram stuff. People just... People on my case. People want a little bit of this, brother. Yeah, they do. The Sacred Prophet. Okay. All right. Let's get to it. Let's get to
yourself on the back. Are you done?
Let's get to
it. Wait, did you exit out? Did you zeet it out? Wait, zeet. I don't think that's the right word.
Zeet it out. Zeet it what out?
Your prediction. It doesn't matter if you're saying after the fact you said it, if nobody knows you said it.
I said it on last Sunday Fuel.
Who pays attention to
that? Look, we didn't get to 116 Bitcoin, which we're going to get to eventually. The question here, well, let's take a look at the trades for the week past. Take a look at the trades for the week past. Now, in our 50x trading leverage strategy, yes, we trade daily and weekly VWAPs. Specifically, weekly VWAPs is what we go for here on Sunday Fuel. We didn't get any pullbacks. Like the week before and the week before that, we didn't get any pullbacks to our weekly VWAP levels. So there's nothing we can do about that. So we can't get into any trades, right? So the trades for the week past, we don't have that. What I did say that could happen, and this is not part of the 50x leverage setup. This is just saying the setup that we have on the charts. What we were talking about was that over here, because we have this trend over here, switch to white, that after we cleared the levels that were up here, the next level to get to was that trend area over here, right? So right now Bitcoin is like breaking through basically all these trend lines until we move up. You can trade it if you want to. It's perfectly fine to trade that. The issue is that I can't call it out. You're gonna have to use the indicators, use your own talents, and figure that out because I can't tell you that. The level that I've been calling about for last week and for on my last tweet was 116 Bitcoin, because that up here would be the last resistance zone until basically blue skies. So I do think there's a very high likelihood that we get there. The question is, why didn't we get there last week? And when can we expect to get there in the future? So the reason we didn't get there last week is that the this resistance zone up here was a meaty one. It was pretty solid. You guys will remember that. Let's see here. So I look at things and moves in the chart as they happen in threes. So we had our bounce off the lows, and then we get a 1 move up, 2 move up, 3 move up, right? And usually the third one, it peters back, right? It pulls back because, and the reason these things usually happen in threes or a minimum of threes is that the first move, people are blindsided by it. The second move, people are go, okay, I saw the second thing happen. Now I'm going to anticipate the third. The third one happens. It either goes way further than you think or not as far as you think. That's usually what happens. It's when it's like someone goes 1, 2, 3. Well, you need the 2 in order to figure out what's going on. And the third is when you jump in. So that's what I call these, I started calling this a 3-hump camel years back. And that's how I always think about it. 3 times, and then you get this pause in. And that third one didn't break through to 116. It broke up to this trend here at around 110, 112. Now, I do expect we might get a pullback right now to the lower trend, the lower trend level, which is over here, which would be around 103, 103.5. Okay, so 103.5 is the last week's level that I think we will touch before we bounce up to 116. Okay. So just to answer what you always ask me about the trades for the week pass, there's no trades for the week pass that we could have taken that I would have pushed out. That would have just been if you wanted to risk it on the third wave up. As you can see here, you can't even guarantee that you get to 116 to where I said it was going to go because there's no VWAP levels there.
I think
there's nothing to pull the
you
price.
said something like that last week when I was kind of pushing you. You were like, "There's not really."
No. For the week ahead, and we're going to see tonight again at 8 p.m., 8 to 10 p.m. is when the trade locks in. But for the week ahead, we should be getting a level around 107.6. So it'll be 107.6, call it 108. That'll be the VWAP level that we want to target. And as you can see, the price is at that level right now.
I was
right?
just about to say, what do you mean? We're right there right now. So
exactly. So whenever we're at the level, basically, as soon as we clear 10 o'clock, we might already have cleared that level.
Yeah.
Which means this will trade.
Well, easy prediction to make. Something that's like literally happening right now. I predict Bitcoin will hit 107.740. Who's giving you such precise Bitcoin predictions? All right.
Excommunicated. Silence heathen. Let's look back at last week's. Last week's, I said a similar thing. That the level for that week would be 103.5, right? That's right over here, 103.5. And we were already near that level, right? So we get there, it cleared it basically right away. So there's no trade to take. Mm-hmm. But what did I say was the bias for the week? Bullish, because of the liquidity. The bias for the week was going to be a major move in liquidity over here, right? Let me just zoom out so you can see it a little bit better. So here, I was saying that this is the move we were looking for this week. So as soon as that weekly level cleared at 10 o'clock, and it already got cleared out, well, now you can still place your bounce for the long up, right? Now, I didn't call out that trade because I can't tell you how far it'll go up. I mean, I knew that the likelihood is that we're going to get to this level over here, which is we did. But I don't call out those trades. That's for you guys to figure out on your own, to look at on your own. But it didn't matter. So what'll happen here? The question is when we want to look at it. Once the trade opens up this week and we're at that level, you'll notice here that we are in a consolidation zone here for liquidity. Correct? Which means now is not the time to take the trade. There's a little bit of a bump that it could jump up to 116. There's a little bit of that, but it's a far chance, right? It's not something I really want to bet on. So the idea here is that we're likely to go sideways until around June 16th, June 17th. All right. So we're looking for a sideways move through here. Now, this sideways move could happen through here. It could happen a little bit wider. I don't know what the range might be, right? It could be highly volatile. We don't know what's going to happen news-wise during the week or whatever. But chances are that we're not doing the next step change up to the 140, 150 level. I'm just throwing that number up there. I'm just saying the next step change up in Bitcoin is not likely to happen until around June 16th, June 17th.
So where the F are we getting 150, 200, 250,000 Bitcoin?
After that step change happens, so we have a step change happening there, and then soon after that, we have another step change happening. And then we have another step change happening over here.
But you told me June, July, that's where we were going to hit the top. That's it. Get out. Get out.
No, I said based on the projection of liquidity at the time that I made the prediction. See, I can see the future by looking at the past, but there's a fog of war for me too, guys. All right? I know you want me to be everything, to be able to tell you every top, everything. But I can only speak what the Lord of Liquidity shows me. That's all I can do. And if the Lord of Liquidity does not see fit to grace me with the sight more than 78 days out, well, that's what I take.
Okay, well, I mean, that I could make the exact same statement.
You could have, but you didn't because the Lord of Liquidity didn't speak through you. Excommunicated.
What is with the don't you have other sound effects besides this explosion in my ears?
Is that any better, Peter?
It's not.
You
better.
underestimate my power.
No.
I'm going to stop pressing the buttons when this Lord of Liquidity stops laughing inside of my heart and inside of my mind, okay? That's when I'll stop pressing the buttons.
What
Until
the
then,
hell did you
that's
just
what's
play
happening.
there?
A little bit of enemy rock.
What?
You asked for something different. I gave you something different.
You're right. I regret it. You're right. I regret it. God.
116. The range that I'm looking for the move in Bitcoin over the next until basically June 16th is a sideways move that I believe will have the high peak at 116 and a low of around 103. So I think the range of 103 and 116, that we might want to play both sides, the consolidation both sides, where we short at the top, cover to the bottom, short at the top, and reverse at the bottom, and do that again and again and again. And if we get that range is about that's a 12% range that we could be bouncing around inside. You can be making 2 to 5x again and again and again in your position as we move sideways. Remember, we like sideways markets. As you see with this bull run up, there's no trades to take. Like, you take your long, right? Your long bag, or if you open up a long position a little bit lower. I had this long position open up for a little while, took my profits, and I'm happy with that. But it's not a bunch of trading you can do when the price is just going into blue skies. Sideways and down is where we make the most amount of money. So we're gonna look for that.
But
so
sideways only works if the spread is big enough, like 12%. Because when it was
if
sideways,
it's 1%, that's all you really need for it to be worthwhile.
But we talked about this like last week or the week before. I went sideways, and I was like, "Can we make money in sideways?" And you were like,
No,
well,
remember
it was like
that
6%.
No, that sideways was super narrow. That sideways was this sideways over here, and over here. These sideways are too narrow.
What does that mean?
I'm talking. This is a sideways move. This is like 3%.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
No, but there was no clear defined. At some point, the break was going to happen up, right? We don't know when. We knew the break's going to happen up, and so you're playing with fire going sideways here. You're playing with fire doing that.
You're not clarifying your statement. It's going sideways, correct? You said we can trade sideways, right?
You can trade sideways. Yes.
So far, so good.
Yes.
Then you say, "Oh, you can trade sideways even if it's 1%." It's sideways, and it was what 3% or whatever.
Yes, but the sideways, on top of that, what you need is for the price to bounce between levels that we can actually pay attention to.
So how
When
would
we're
you
back,
what do you call that type of sideways versus this type of sideways?
well, they're both sideways, except that the sideways we're talking about that's going to happen now is likely to be between levels where the buy and sell are clear.
So what do you call that? What's the term for that type of bouncing around? Ping pong?
A
sideways?
tradable range. A tradable range.
A tradable range. All right.
Right. Whereas before we didn't have a tradable range.
All right.
So
So
it's
we
too unclear.
so we can trade up, down, or sideways. We make more money sideways, but as long as they're tradable ranges.
Correct.
All right. I got to learn these things because as you're Aaron, I got to go out there and I got to talk about this thing, and I can't be, looking like an idiot.
Do it.
Do it.
That's a very poor sound effect. It sounds
Okay,
almost
so
like
instead-
he's freaking-
Thank you for clarifying.
Okay.
Any
Why
better?
do I keep making things worse?
That's what's always going to happen. My son learned that. If you push back against me, you better hope that you're ready for things to get worse. You either take the bad that I give you, or you get worse than that.
Okay, so
All
are
right,
you
so
are you happy?
Happy about what? About being right about everything all the time? Yeah, feels pretty good.
Well, I mean, look, we're in our crypto group. I can hear people. They're like, "Hey, come on, man! When's the fire gonna happen? Where's the fuel? What's going on?" And it's like,
People are expecting. This is what I don't understand. People are expecting the big moves to happen while they're staring at the chart. Like while everyone's waiting. Remember, I said the threes. Everything happens three. So everyone goes, every cycle is like this. No. You remember 2 freaking cycles, okay? 2 cycles you remember. You remember 2017 and then the world lockdown COVID cycle. And then people go, this is the 3rd cycle. It should happen like that. Excuse me, 3 hump camel. The first cycle, unexpected, from $100 a Bitcoin to $20,000 a Bitcoin. You missed it. Okay?
we did it. We were there.
No, whoever's watching it, you missed it. Fine, it's over, done. No one saw it coming, except those people who saw it coming, and then you made a bunch of money. People weren't watching, going, "No, it's going to be the first part of the cycle." No. Then we fall from 20,000 to 4,000. People go, "That's it. That's the end."
That's right.
Then we had another bump up. People forget that mini bump up, the run up from 4,000 to like 10,000, and then pull back, COVID crash. People were like, "Ah!" No one was talking about cycles then. In general, that wasn't the narrative. Then we get the most amount of liquidity ever injected into the history of the markets ever, all the time, throughout the entire world, because the whole planet locked down. Trillions of dollars are made. $1 billion every week or whatever it was made. All right? Crypto launched up to the stratosphere, but not nearly to the same degree as it did in 2017, right? It went from the lows of 4,000 up to 69,000. Truncated cycle, double top, falls back down. Biggest inflation we've ever seen since the 1970s. And now we have this new cycle, the 3rd cycle that's happening, and everyone goes, "Okay, strap in, it's gonna be like last time." Oh, excuse me. We're all watching it now. Raul Powell's doing drinks and putting out like GMI reports, telling people that's going to go. Michael Saylor's talking, buying billions of dollars. Everyone's watching, okay? These things don't happen while everyone's watching. You know when the big thing happens and it just absolutely explodes? When no one is expecting it to happen. We look at the BTC liquidation charts right now. What are we seeing? We're seeing still shorts are 2 billion to 120 billion, and 7 billion to 500. People are starting to short more now. The shorts are back up, guys. So as long as the shorts around and they're more than the longs, don't worry, we're going to get up there. But the big run up that happens at the end happens when 2 things happen. 1, the shorts go, no more. They're done. They go, enough. We're not holding these shorts anymore. It's not paying off. That happens with a large volatility event or time. Once they do that, those billions of dollars need to be bought back. Yeah, those billions of dollars, they need to be bought back. Then the bulls need to be like, hey, let's lean into this. They have to have some reason to lean into it, right? There's going to be some liquidity that's going to be pushed into the markets. There's going to be a narrative that they have to follow. Something has to happen to make all the longs go, hey, you know the thing that we haven't been really long for? We've been watching it, but we haven't actually been levered long for like 10 years now. Let's go ahead and go in. Right? Then that happens, and boom, you get the run up. Until those two things happen, excuse me, sit your butt down. Just take a seat. Just take a seat. Just relax there for a second. Right? Take a seat. Yeah. Watch pot never boils. Ever heard of that?
You got it all in your system. You're good. You're good. I get
just
it
want
now.
people to understand
I do.
that the cycle you're in is the cycle that you're in. Don't sit around now looking for the .com bubble, looking for the shit. You're in the thing you're in. You're in the thing you're in. So what you do is either you can sit down, do your work, figure out the numbers of where it's going to go, or you listen to your boy Tom Hartman. You listen to Sacred Prophet, and you succeed. You don't worry about what part of the cycle we're in and did it happen before or whatever. Don't worry about any of that.
You know what you're describing?
What?
A high value trader. Play it.
There we go.
Play,
That's
play
right.
the sound. Play the sound.
That's
push
right.
It. Push the button. That's not the button. High value trader, all right?
Too good. Too good.
Yeah, no, honestly, Tom, what you're talking about is high value trader, right? It's the mindset of a high value trader. You have all these degens, these FOMOs, these YOLOs out there. And what you need to do is what you talked about, being able to look at the charts, understand what you're seeing, be tempered in your approach, and be ready for when things pop off or go down. Set yourself up for victory, whether it goes up, down, or sideways, and get the damn indicators that you need in order to see the market accurately. And if you're a dummy like me, you need those indicators. You need them. You need them. Even if you're not a dummy, all right? Look, do you want to go into a car without self-driving, without lane keeping assist, without blind spots? No. What are you, like a Joe Rogan going to zip around in a 1967 Mustang? Because you like the feel of it, you know? Get into a car crash, get crumpled between the steel steering wheel of that. No. What you want is the full package, all of the bells and whistles, and you get that with Sacred Prophet. So you head over to sacredprophet.com and you sign up. Tout suite. That's French for right away.
You know it. How does it feel when the Lord of Liquidity speaks through you? Don't you feel the power?
I feel
Don't
the
you feel
power.
it?
I feel the power.
All right, so here's the thing. People want the whole blow off top and all that. I get that. What they don't seem to understand of what they're asking for is for a major crisis.
That's what I keep waiting for you to. I thought one of the ingredients you're going to say is some major disaster.
Well, it doesn't have to be a major disaster because you can get a run up like that without that. But what people actually want is a major disaster in order to do it. I don't even understand why they don't get that.
They want COVID again. Look, let's just admit it. Everybody wants
They want COVID.
again.
They want .com. They want LTCM crash. They want global financial crisis. They want Brexit. They go, well, when does the market go up to the right? When there's a crisis and the governments come in and start printing money like crazy. That's what happens. That's what happens. And I wish it would just come out and say that. Because you know what? We can cause that crisis to happen. Here's my 5-point plan. So we don't want the crisis to happen, but there are ways to compound your wealth in between crisis times. So we know a crisis is going to happen, right? We could already tell here. I don't want to go through all the details here, but essentially, one of the things I was looking for, there might have been a top in liquidity, the projected liquidity 70 days out. That's now been mitigated. There's been surprise liquidity has been coming into the markets. Okay? The central banks all around the world have been coordinating somehow in order to generate liquidity. You can go see my video. Were we on After Hours? Yeah, you were on After Hours last Friday on Traders Post. Go take a look at it. We talk about how the bond auction that happened, the 20-year bond auction that happened on the 21st, we had 5% interest on the 20-year. for all kinds of different reasons why that matters. You can take a look at that video. But then there's a secret buyer that came. That means 5% means a bunch of people weren't buying bonds. Like the bond buyers that you're normally expecting to see weren't there. But then a secret mystery buyer came in and bought $16 billion worth of bonds the day after. Well, excuse me, who has $16 billion to spend on treasuries the day after the auction? Oh, I forgot. It was the auction yesterday. Oh, God. Oh, give me. I'll buy them right now.
Okay, let me ask you this. And I was thinking about this when we talked about this on it's a great video. Go watch it on Traders Post on YouTube. Buying 16 billion the day after the auction isn't exactly hiding what you're doing.
It isn't hide what you're doing. It makes it seem that there's demand for the 20-year that's not actually there.
No, I mean, but who's going to think that? They're going to think this mystery buyer is the Fed.
But that's good. When I said that people want a crisis, they're like, great. We want the crisis because we want to know that the Fed is going to, or the central banks are going to add the liquidity to the market. And what did the 16 billion prove? Yeah, they will.
I just mean, why are they doing it secretly?
Because secretly makes it so that people who don't know anything about the markets think there's not a problem. Yields came down, and it makes the people who do know what's going on, hey, there's liquidity in the market, which means they'll participate in the markets and make the things go up. Great. Add liquidity in the market. Forward guidance achieved.
That's getting overplayed. Pick a different sound effect. There's a loud sound. It's over 9,000. I like that.
So that's what they're doing. That's why they do that. Why does the high priestess of the monetary system come out every month or whatever to talk to the plebs? He doesn't say what they're doing, but he comes out every month and everyone listens to him. The press release comes out 30 minutes before, and they're analyzing the press release, and there's AIs that go through it, and they remove the word the and they added of, put it the word and they put it a with. And they go, what do you mean by that? Reading the tea leaves. So this is why I don't mind, astrology for men and all that. People poo-poo it and technical analysis. Yeah, you're there worrying about the word of. It was added in or out. No, I'm not exaggerating, Peter. That's what they're talking about. You go watch those videos.
No, I know.
And it's all the stuff beforehand and during and afterwards. And what do you think this is? And they dissect the press release. Then the guy goes up there. Powell, after the press release comes out 30 minutes before, comes out, reads the press release as if it's news to everybody. They already have their articles pre-written, ready to post. They're just embargoed until that moment. And then comes out and they answer questions. And anytime there's a question that's asked, you're like, how is he going to answer it? He looks down, reads from his freaking paper. This is what we're going to say. These are the specific things we want to say. Now go off, you little, keyboard monkeys. Go and spread the word, the good gospel of the high priest of the pope of the monetary system. And you go, and then people are going to be there. Well, I think it's bullish, and I think it's very bullish. And they drive liquidity into the markets. Why? Jerome Powell is worth $100 million. Why is he there? Can you imagine being worth $100 million and you're going to go work when you're 60, 70 years old or whatever the hell old he is to go get grilled by a bunch of journalists who's half your age who don't know anything about anything? Okay, why is he doing that?
But he has $100 million, or he's worth $100 million?
He's worth $100 million.
It's not enough money. You wouldn't be happy being worth $100 million. It's not even close.
It's a problem I'm looking forward to having, Peter. My point is that all the major market participants, they also want a crisis. And they want to know that the Fed is going to act in a way that supports it. Now, a crisis is always coming. Winter is always coming here, folks. Why? Because the same problems that were there in the dot-com crisis haven't disappeared. They just got worse and worse and worse. That's why after the dot-com crisis, as soon as you got to a new high, you got the global financial crisis. And then that changed the entire system. Basel 1, 2, 3. You had QE for the first time, pump money into the system. All that happens. And then you get up to Volmageddon, you get up to COVID crash. We haven't resolved anything. All right? So it's going to be bad. And the longer it takes for it to correct, the worse it's going to be. Fine. We all know this. Game of musical chairs. Those people who are in the know it. The question is, Will the Fed continue to support? And the worry was that when Trump came in, that the Fed wouldn't support the markets. I'm going to get rid of Jerome Powell. I think Fed, interest rates should be down at 0% or whatever the hell it is. Powell's not moving. So the question is the Fed going to support what the American government is doing? Are they going to be working in tandem in order to make sure that this rickety raft works together? Because Trump does not seem to understand how the rickety raft works. And Powell is not allowed to ever say the truth. So it's like this weird situation. Like, what's going to happen here? And so the 16 billion shows they're gonna add the liquidity. They're gonna do it.
Well, look,
They're gonna do it.
Look, I'm not saying anything should happen to anybody. All right. In fact, I'll explicitly say nothing should happen to anybody. All right. But these people want to go up against the president or any power that be. You better not have any family, any kids that need anything. Like, what are you doing? All right.
And you better not really like tomorrows. You better be like pretty full up on tomorrows.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
So I don't get it. I was like, Jerome Powell's going to play hardball. Like, is he the one person in government with nothing to lose? I mean, it ain't going to happen. He's going to bend.
All right. So they're going to add liquidity, and we're seeing liquidity being added to the markets. One, it means that a crisis is brewing. Right? They only add liquidity, especially don't add liquidity beforehand. Well, it's not even beforehand. What happens is that a break happens and they add liquidity. I've never
Is 16 billion a lot?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a lot the day after the market. That's when it's a lot. It's like, I'm trying to give a good analogy here. It's like, I don't know, 16 billion. Like, people see the billion and they're like, that's like million, but with a B. That's a lot of money to just automatically spend. That's like, I don't want to trigger keyword terms and get banned from YouTube or whatever.
Please don't.
So let's go with, if one cake is worth $25, this is like a lot of cakes. Is that clear? Like a lot of them. More cakes than you could eat in a week.
Right.
That's how many cakes there are.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. It's a lot of cakes.
No, the bond market is a multi-trillion-dollar market. The entire global financial system, considering the value of all things, if you were to mark the market itself, whatever, you're looking at $125 trillion worth of stuff. What moves in any given market is, I think the entire stock market is like, let's call it 1.5 trillion. And it takes about $50 billion to move the S&P 1 or 2% on a given day. So 16 billion is not like the most it's not pocket change, but it's not like the most amount of money ever. But the fact it's when it came in and that it's a secret buyer. That's the thing. It means that they were trying to inject liquidity, which means it won't be the only time that 16 billion is being sent into the markets.
Right.
Which means it wasn't the only time before that. It means they've been doing this and they're going to keep on doing it. Great. Liquidity is coming in. Oh, so it was the yields, bank reserves, excess reserves went up. So that's QE. QE was happening secretly. We had, what was the other thing? Financial conditions dropped. Financial conditions is an aggregate of the amount of lending and borrowing happening within commercial entities. And when there is a propensity for bullishness, the financial conditions goes down because it's showing that there's less stress. And when it goes up, there's more stress. And that went down. And you're like, why? How did all these things happen? What's going on? It means that there's liquidity being supplied. And that liquidity needs to go somewhere. And what is one of the best, if not the best, tool for us to judge the general liquidity within the global financial system? That's right, Bitcoin. Let me say it again, Bitcoin. Don't underestimate its power, Peter.
You underestimate my power.
So the fact that Bitcoin is going up, the way it's going up in 50 days, 50% in 50 days, 1% per day, oh my God, is showing that the liquidity that was flowing 378 days ago is coming through. And when we look ahead, more liquidity is coming in. So yeah, we're going to get Bitcoin to at least 200 handle. I don't see how we avoid that. The question is how fast. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to go on. I do think a crash, if it's going to happen at all, it's going to happen September, October. They usually do September, October, or February, March. That's generally when the crashes happen. Well, February, March, April, or August, September, October. So we're going to look for that. But until there, markets are pretty supportive. The canary in the coal mine will be probably the S&P. So the S&P is at, what's it at right now? It's at 58.17. And it's got to get to and close above 61.50 for me to consider, hey, we're going to make another leg up for bullishness. Let me just pull that up here. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, so we got to get on the S&P basically up to above this VWAP level at 61.42. I think that's what it is, 61.26. So we got to get above and close for me to feel like, hey, we're headed up. So for me, the likelihood is that we're going to bounce off somewhere near here, head back over here. And by the time it gets back to over there, that's enough to get Bitcoin up to wherever it's going to get to, whatever high it's going to get to. Maybe we peak into all-time highs, then we roll back over. And if that's happening and we're headed to a bear market for the next 2 to 5 years, like we saw over here, this is during the inflation crisis, that could be happening over here. Then we're going to have these bounces sideways until we get to our VWAP level down here. Actually, we can even go lower. If I'm going to be honest, we can even get lower. We can even get to, to 4,300, maybe even 4,000.
What?
We do that for a while, and then we climb back up.
Wow.
It's fine. That's fine. Plenty of money to be made.
Yeah.
Plenty of money to be made. So that's what I would expect. To corroborate that, we're seeing that the dollar is... Come on, buddy. Come on, little buddy. Load up. We see that the dollar is... remember I said it was going to break... It's coming up here, and the question is whether it's going to break out or not. I said the likelihood is that it's going to fall. That's what's happening. So this dollar can end up falling basically to this trend line over here. So the dollar could come all the way down to around 94, 95, which is great for nations other than the United States. Actually, it's great for everybody. Well, not for the poor or the middle class. Sorry. If you don't own assets, it's terrible. If you do own assets, it's fantastic because this eases the pressure on other nations. Easier for people to get funding, more liquidity within the system, blah, 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 blah. So if this falls over here, we're going to have a while that consolidation would happen over here until we get to the point where we're bouncing around in here, and then we break up, and then we head to another one of these step changes where, let me zoom out to the weekly for you, easy to see. So this is the financial crisis, GFC, step change, ends here in COVID, step change, and we'll get to another level over here where we then get a step change again, and that'll be, let's just call that the end of the fourth turning, shall we? Let's just call it that. Yeah, and since this is the third time, right? 1, 2, 3. Chances are the next time either we're going to break down and the dollar's just going to crash, or we crash up, and it's I'm not sure what's worse. I'm not sure what's worse. For the United States, this is worse. Nope, but then unrest. What's worse, deflation or stagflation?
Stagflation is worse.
Stagflation. Is it? There was stagflation during the 70s, and that was a boom because we had the baby boomers coming into the markets for the first time. The largest cohort of children that we had since pre-war, and then
we have the exact opposite of that right now. Probably the smallest cohort. I mean, there's like no kids.
There are no kids, but the productivity because of AI and robotics is pretty astounding. Right. And our numbers aren't really accounting for that. And when you actually go look to see what's being automated, both software and hardware, throughout the world, I mean, it's pretty significant. It's pretty significant. And so it's like, culturally, there's a problem with transmitting the culture through the children, but productivity-wise, so the stagflation stagflation hurts those who don't have excess reserves, excess money. If you do, you have the strength in order to ask for, your competition falls out because they're doing worse, they have higher costs, they have to lay off people, whatever, they have to deal with it less. And those who have money can stay in longer. They're the ones, they get to buy up Main Street, they get to consolidate businesses, they get to do a bunch of stuff, they get to lay off people, and laying off people is like the largest line item in almost any industry. And so it's bad for workers. Not so bad if you're B2B. If you're B2C, then that's could be bad because the workers have less money in order to buy stuff. So there's a case to be made that stagflation for those who have, not so bad. But deflation, your collateral goes down in value. And that hurts those with money.
But that's
it's good for
the middle class and the poor.
Lower middle class and poor, correct.
Okay. So F, deflation. Yay, stagflation. Let's go.
I'm not poor, so I don't want the thing that benefits the poor.
Okay. This is an indication that we went just a little bit too long on stream. Just a little bit too long.
Let's lighten the mood, Peter. All right, guys. All right. So for the week ahead, I'm gonna be tweeting out the level for the week. You guys are gonna get that, and soon when the dashboard is up, you guys are gonna get that automatically. That'll be fun. Look for 116 on Bitcoin. I think that's gonna be basically a top for until June 16th. Trade sideways. You can trade sideways on the daily VWAP levels from the indicators, the daily VWAP levels. I've been tweeting out sort of some levels, but don't rely on that because I don't really care so much about the sideways. I'm too busy getting the product up. Let's just go ahead and do that. But use the indicators. If you don't have the indicators, message me. I will get them to you. You'll be part of the beta group. You can get them early. I'm not seeing any significant downside, right, to Bitcoin. We could get a negative 30, fine, maybe. Right? Maybe all those levels get pulled for the last weeks that we didn't get. Maybe we put all the way down to 80,000, but we can get Bitcoin to be at 80,000. I can still consider that to be long-term bullish. So take that for what you will. Personally, I've deleveraged long positions that have been holding on this run up. I've deleveraged it. And I'm looking for a major pullback for 15 to 30% before I get back into anything like that at one of the levels we're looking at. And until that happens, I'm not really interested in doing anything else in the market. No need. When you're trading 50x leverage, you don't want to just be messing around. But is that clear enough, Peter?
Very clear. Well said. Well, thank you, Tom. Really appreciate that.
No, not me, Peter. The Lord of Liquidity. I am but a vessel. Don't worship me.
Well, the Lord of Liquidity wants you to go over to X and check out Sacred Profit on X. You can get all the levels and the trades that are there. You can also follow us here on YouTube if you're not there yet. That's Sacred Profit on YouTube. Like and subscribe. It helps us out. But F helping us out. It helps you out. All right. Become a high value trader today. And remember, please, for the love of all things holy, don't worship him.
Try not to. I know it's hard. I can't tell you why. I could only tell you what, when, where, and how. That's it. All right. Church is done. Let's get us out of here, Peter.